Guys, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I'm Gen Z, and chances are if you're a fan of my YouTube videos, you might be Gen Z too, or you clicked on this video because you wanted to learn about what traumatized us Gen Zers when we were kids. But yeah, I saw this iceberg and I wanted to cover it because it seems so nostalgic for me, you know, so hopefully it'll be nostalgic for you too. Now this one in particular is about internet trauma because this iceberg I found is huge, so if this video does good, I'm gonna be covering the other parts of it. There's like, actually let me check so I'm not lying to you. Okay, there's TV, movies, gaming, reality, nature, urban, legend, music. That one seems kind of boring. I don't think I'm gonna do that one. But you get the idea. There are a lot of Gen Z trauma like filters on this iceberg that I'm gonna cover if you guys like this one. Anyways, go ahead and follow my Instagram, join my Discord, all that stuff. You know, let's hang out, we have fun there. And let's get into this disturbing nostalgia. Now after this, it will not be my face anymore because I've learned from the analytics and the views that you guys do not like seeing my face too much. So yeah, straight into the iceberg. Let's kick off this iceberg with creepypasta, a term that you've probably heard a million times. These stories are like modern urban legends of scary tales shared and spread across various online platforms. If you grew up in the early 2010s, you likely found yourself deep in forums or YouTube channels dedicated to these narratives. From the freaky vibes of Slenderman to the infamous tale of Jeff the Killer, creepypasta became a staple for anyone looking to get spooked. You might be wondering what makes creepypasta so captivating. For many, it's the idea that these stories could be real, or at least feel real enough to give you goosebumps. They often tap into common fears like the fear of the dark or the unknown, and as a kid you probably stumbled upon a tale that made you question whether it was safe to go to bed or take a walk alone. The shared experience of reading these stories created a community of young people who bonded over their love for horror. Now let's talk about some of the most notable characters in the creepypasta universe. Slenderman is a prime example. He's that tall, faceless figure haunting the woods, a symbol of dread and mystery. Many kids encountered him through memes or fan art, turning him into a pretty iconic figure in horror culture. Then there's Jeff the Killer, whose unsettling smile and tragic backstory struck a chord with those grappling with feelings of isolation and anger, and other characters like Ben Drowned and Sonic.exe added to this mix, each bringing their own unique flavor of fear. We'll dig deeper into these stories later, but these characters really show how creepypasta captured the imagination of a generation. Reading creepypasta felt like a rite of passage for many Gen Z kids. It was more than just stories, it was about exploring fears together, sharing late night discussions at like middle school sleepovers, and discovering what really creeped you out. These tales provided an escape into a world where the ordinary turned sinister, and it offered a safe place to confront the unknown without being in any real danger. I know I was scared of a bunch of creepypastas when I was a little kid, bruh. I'm 18 now, but like, holy shit. Next up we got Jeff the Killer. If you grew up in the early 2010s, you probably remember the creepy story of a kid named Jeff who was bullied until he snapped. After a bunch of terrible stuff happens, he ends up looking all messed up and becomes a killer. The image of Jeff with his pale skin, black hair, and that weird stretched smile that I've already used in the editing probably became super famous in the creepypasta community. What makes Jeff so scary is how his story feels real. A lot of you might have like seen bits of your own experiences in his story, even if it's like an extreme version, like an exaggeration. The idea that someone can be pushed and bullied to do such awful things really hits home in a weird way. At least for, you know, us little baby Gen Z kids when we read this when we were like, I don't know, like 9 or 10. And his catchphrase, "go to sleep," only adds to the creepiness. It wasn't just a story, it was also like a reminder of how bullying and loneliness can lead to something pretty dark. It's like BoJack Horseman for kids. Jeff the Killer also got a ton of fan art, stories, and memes, making him a staple in internet horror. If you ever came across a Jeff the Killer video or creepypasta at a sleepover, like I did, it probably left you feeling uneasy. It was like a reminder of how scary the internet can be. I don't know if this is going to be later in the iceberg, but I want to at least bring it up once. I remember I was like 7th grade, 6th grade, something like that, maybe 5th, and my friend came over for a sleepover, and we watch like those videos of like the obviously fake like alien creatures walking in like security cameras like people's backyards, you know, and that shit scared the fuck out of us, bro. Like, oh my god, that shit fucked us so bad. But anyways, you know, you guys don't want to hear about my little personal anecdotes. Let's move on. Slenderman. Next up is Slenderman, a character that scared the daylights out of many kids in the 2010s. He started as a simple photo manipulation contest entry in 2009, but quickly grew into an urban legend. Slenderman is often depicted as a tall, skinny figure with no face wearing a black suit. He's known for stalking kids and taking them away, and this image of a lurking figure in the woods became a nightmare for a lot of you. The thing that really hits home about Slenderman is how he represents the fear of the unknown. When you hear about him, it's not just about a creepy story, it taps into that feeling of being watched, especially in a world where you're always online. Many of you probably played games like Slender the 8 Pages, where you had to collect pages while avoiding him. The anxiety of hearing that unsettling music as he got closer made it a heart-pounding experience, and it definitely left you glancing over your shoulder. Slenderman also took a dark turn in real life when 2 girls in 2014 attacked a classmate, claiming they did it for Slenderman. This horrifying incident blurred the lines between the fiction of the story and the reality of reality, and it made everyone take a step back and think about how powerful these online myths can be. Yeah, if you were part of the Slenderman craze back in the day, you probably remember the mix of fascination and fear that he brought into your life. Next up, let's talk about Rule 34. If you've spent any time online, especially in your teenage years, you've likely come across this infamous rule that states, if it exists, there's porn of it. It's a strange and unsettling concept that probably hit you when you were looking for something innocent, but ended up in a bizarre corner of the internet instead. Whether it was your favorite childhood cartoon or a popular game, the realization that anything could have adult content was shocking, to say the least. For me, it was on a Minecraft server. By the way, if you guys remember me from those Minecraft servers, bro, Poi was my name on there too. Okay, so if anybody remembers me from those Minecraft servers, leave a comment. For many of you, discovering Rule 34 was like a rite of passage. It was both hilarious and awkward, shattering the innocence of what you thought you knew about your favorite characters. Imagine searching for something like SpongeBob SquarePants only to find extremely inappropriate fan art. It pushed the limits of what you thought was acceptable, and especially at like a young age, it made you like laugh and cringe all at once. The memes and jokes that came out of Rule 34 also contributed to a shared experience among friends. You probably remember laughing with your buddies over outrageous finds or warning each other to be careful what you search for. It was a testament of how internet culture can take something innocent and turn it into something completely ridiculous. Next up, we got DeviantArt, a place where a lot of Gen Z kids explore their creativity. But, you know, with this iceberg being about trauma, that's not where it ends. DeviantArt kind of goes with Rule 34 because you might look up, you know, like Minecraft Alex on DeviantArt and not find what you were looking for. And also there's like a bunch of creepy shit on DeviantArt too, so maybe that's what the iceberg's talking about. Okay, next up we got the Kayfee Screamer, a classic internet prank that caught a lot of people off guard. If you were online in the mid-2000s, you might remember this creepy ad that looked harmless at first. Starts off with a calm, relaxing scene advertising Kayfee, but just when you think it's safe, a loud scream and terrifying face pop up on your screen. It was designed to give you a massive jump scare, and so many people fell for it, bro. This was also like a rite of passage for a lot of Gen Zers, like watching your friends get scared, you know, and like sending it to your friends like, oh dude, check this out. My friends still do that to me, bro. My friend still sends me like Instagram reels where it'll just be like a fucking spider jump scare at the end. It pisses me off, bro. And with that, we are done with layer 1, so let's get into layer 2, starting with ghost caught on camera videos. If you spent time on YouTube in the 2010s, you probably came across tons of these creepy clips. They show supposed evidence of ghosts and paranormal activity, with shaky footage of mysterious figures, eerie sounds, and all sorts of unexplained phenomena. Some of these videos felt so real that they sent chills down your spine, making you question what you believed about the supernatural. What made these videos particularly engaging was the way they tapped into your natural curiosity about the unknown. You might have watched them late at night hoping to catch a glimpse of something truly terrifying. They often featured grainy footage, creepy sound effects, and narratives that hooked you in. The thrill of potentially seeing something ghostly made these videos super popular, and they quickly spread across social media, making you share them with friends for a good scare. Some of these ghost videos were obviously staged, while others were more ambiguous, leaving you guessing whether they're real or just clever tricks. But yeah, this was another, rite of passage with some friends, Next, let's talk about 4chan. This infamous image board has been at the center of many internet trends, memes, and let's be honest, some pretty disturbing content. It's a place where anyone can post anything, and while that led to a lot of funny memes, it's also given rise to some dark corners of the internet. For many Gen Z kids, encountering 4chan meant diving into a world that felt both fascinating and a bit terrifying. On 4chan, you could find anything from harmless memes to conspiracy theories and disturbing stories. It was like a wild west of the internet where rules didn't apply and anything went. Many of what you might have heard about or even experienced on the darker side of 4chan, like the infamous creepypasta threads, felt too real, and this site was a breeding ground for internet culture, but it also pushed boundaries in ways that could make you feel uncomfortable. Next up we have ASDF movie deaths. These are a series of animated shorts that became a huge hit on YouTube. If you're part of Gen Z, you probably remember watching these ridiculous and darkly humorous sketches that always ended up in some unexpected, often absurd death. The randomness of situations made them memorable and pretty funny, but there's also something unsettling about how casual the deaths were, especially, as a kid. The ASDF movie series, created by Tom Ska, blends comedy with a bit of dark humor, catching many off guard with how quickly things can go from silly to shocking. You might have laughed at the over-the-top scenarios, but there was also a part of you that couldn't help but find it pretty weirdly disturbing. The stark contrast between the innocent setup and their ridiculous deaths made you chuckle and cringe at the same time. These sketches also became a pretty big part of internet culture, with many fans quoting lines and sharing their favorite moments. You probably have a favorite death scene that still sticks in your mind. The absurdity of it all made these shorts iconic, and they were a staple of humor for a lot of Gen Z kids. Ben Drowned is a creepypasta that dives into unsettling territory, using the game The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask to create an intricate horror story told over 3 separate arcs, spanning from 2010 to 2020. Now for Gen Z childhood trauma, I guess we're probably focusing on just the 2010 iteration. I bet that's what all of us grew up with, but I'm gonna cover all of it anyways just because this is a cool story. And this is my video, fuck you. Okay. It's one of the most influential creepypastas ever written, setting up many now common tropes in the genre, while also introducing an interactive aspect that lets readers shape the story as it unfolds. Written by Alex Hall, Ben Drowned quickly became iconic, drawing fans into an eerie world where the lines between reality and the digital realm blur in disturbing ways. So, the story begins in 2010 with the first arc, The Haunted Cartridge. A college sophomore named Jay is given an old Nintendo 64, which soon leads him to a garage sale where he purchases a used Majora's Mask cartridge. An old man gives him the game for free, mentioning that it belonged to someone named Ben, who he ominously notes, quote, doesn't live here anymore. Intrigued, Jay boots up the game, only to find a save file labeled Ben. He tries to delete that save file and start fresh, but the game doesn't behave as expected. NPCs call him Ben even in his new save file, and soon they stop using any name at all. Jay documents his experiences on 4chan, detailing how he runs into more disturbing glitches in the game, including haunting images of the happy masked salesman and encounters with the Elegy of Emptiness statue, a blank, unblinking figure that seems to stalk him. The game's glitches become increasingly personal and sinister. When Jay tries to drown Link, instead of triggering the usual game over screen, Link clutches his head in agony as the image of the salesman flashes on the screen. The statue of Elegy begins to follow him, instilling a sense of dread as it seemingly refuses to let him escape the game's haunted world. As Jay continues his investigation, he finds that the game has inexplicably learned his actions. Disturbing messages like, "You shouldn't have done that," and "It's your turn" appear on screen, suggesting that Jay is not alone in this experience. A ghostly presence, implied to be the spirit of Ben, seems to manipulate the game and eventually even reaches out beyond the screen. Jay becomes convinced that Ben's spirit was trapped in the cartridge after a drowning incident, as evidenced by messages in the game's file and eerie interactions with the AI chatbot Cleverbot, which responds to him with cryptic, chilling phrases. Also, I don't know, he could have just like read the name of the creepypasta, like Ben drowned, like dude, you fucking stupid, it took you that to get, like, just read the fucking name of the thing, stupid idiot Jay. Anyway, the second arc, Moon Children, takes the horror legend Jay's personal The second arc, Moon Children, takes the horror beyond Jay's personal experiences and onto a fan-created website dedicated to Ben Drowned called YouShouldn'tHaveDoneThat.net. Fans uncover that Ben was connected to a cult called the Moon Children, which performs disturbing rituals and believes in a prophecy about the moon's destruction of Earth. Through hidden messages and website interactions, fans learn of the cult's belief in ascensions, where members sacrifice themselves to become part of a higher plane. A figure known as the Father is revealed as a powerful entity within this world. Ben is somehow tied to this cult, as he was apparently a member sacrificed for this ascension. The site's posts loop every 3 days, much like the repeating 3-day cycle in Majora's Mask, revealing details about Ben's life, the Moon Children, and their apocalyptic beliefs. After the Moon Children arc went on hiatus, Hall returned in 2020 with the final arc, Awakening. Here, a new protagonist named Sarah awakens in a strange hotel room. She discovers a Nintendo 64 with the same haunted cartridge that Jay found years earlier. Sarah, drawn into the game world, confronts Ben's spirit and learns about his tragic fate. She's joined by an AI named Abel who warns her about a malevolent force called the Father, which, you know, if you were paying attention earlier, you know who that is. As Sarah plays, she encounters ghostly NPCs and must choose whether to free Ben and other trapped souls by performing the 4th day glitch, a maneuver from the game that allows players to extend time beyond the usual 3-day cycle. However, this glitch risks freeing the Father and resetting the world. Sarah ultimately decides to perform the glitch, unleashing the Father's power. Clocktown becomes overrun with cultists worshipping the Father, and Sarah faces a harrowing choice: join the Father or confront him. In the game's surreal final scenes, Sarah uses the Song of Healing to banish the last remaining obstacles and encounters the Father himself. As she presents the pendant of memories, the Father recognizes her as different from others who came before. He offers to reset the world and remove all anomalies, including Ben and other spirits. In the closing moments, Sarah's fate remains ambiguous as she fades, leaving only Link and the Yellow G statue to watch over Clocktown. So yeah, that's Ben Drowned. Fucked us up as kids. It gave me nightmares. It gave little boy nightmares. Next up is Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, a web series that blends cute puppery with some seriously dark themes. This is another one that really got me when I was a kid. If you stumbled upon this show, you probably remember how it starts off looking like a children's program, but quickly spirals into a bizarre and often creepy experience. Each episode tackles different themes like creativity or love, but they all take a twisted turn, leading to some unsettling and thought-provoking moments. The juxtaposition of the adorable puppets and the dark subject matter creates a unique viewing experience. You might find yourself just watching and maybe laughing like, what the fuck is this at first, only to feel uncomfortable as the story takes a sharp left turn. It's a brilliant way to explore real-life issues while keeping you on your toes. I mean, I still fuck with this show, low-key. For many Gen Z viewers, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared feels like a commentary on the pressures of adulthood and creativity, all wrapped up in a quirky package. The memorable songs and visuals stick with you, making it a cult favorite. For me, I experienced this through the film theory videos about it, and then I tried watching one myself and I got too scared. The Herobrine creepypasta story is one of the most famous Minecraft legends, detailing a mysterious entity with white eyes who stalks players, creates unusual structures, and alters the landscapes of their worlds. It all started with a post in 2010 on the Minecraft forum, where user Flaky shared a story of encountering glowing white eyes in the game after listening to the 13 music disc. which, if you don't remember from Minecraft, that's like the spooky, scary one. This initial post, along with eerie screenshots, marked the beginning of a tale that would evolve into the Herobrine phenomenon. Soon after, the story adapted into one about a player with a default skin model but pure white eyes called White Eyes. This figure supposedly appeared in Minecraft's dark caves and was said to stalk players from a distance. By August, this character had gained the name Herobrine, and new elements were added, including the notion that Herobrine was the ghostly brother of Minecraft creator Notch, who was supposedly haunting the game after his untimely death. Though Notch never had a brother, this idea only added to the mystery. Herobrine gained even more attention through the Brocraft livestreams. Streamer Copeland staged a hoax in August 2010, retexturing a painting to display Herobrine in his game, and then screaming and pretending to be terrified on his stream when he encountered it. He continued to build on the story by pretending that he was too shaken to continue playing, posting the footage on the Minecraft forum, and encouraging his viewers to spread the story. This led other players to create their own edited screenshots and videos, further cementing Herobrine's mythos within the Minecraft community. Fellow streamer Patamus also staged Herobrine sightings in his streams, though he was later overheard admitting the hoax, much to Copeland's frustration. This added the label, quote, him to Herobrine, which came from a website Copeland linked, showing a disturbing image of Steve's face with rolling eyes alongside text that ominously told viewers to, quote, wake up in all caps. Despite the hoaxes, Herobrine quickly became an icon in the Minecraft community. Players began crafting their own stories, mods, and fan art. Various modders created plugins that allowed Herobrine to appear and behave as described in the stories, stalking players, creating traps, and destroying the environment. These mods fueled the belief that Herobrine could appear in the vanilla game, sparking countless alleged sightings. Some mods even allowed players to summon Herobrine using altars, further deepening the lore and everything. Even as the developers confirmed Herobrine was not a real part of Minecraft, they occasionally joked about adding him, keeping the legend alive. Notch and others made tongue-in-cheek references, and Mojang even included him in official images and events such as Minecon 2011. And also, there's like the classic, every single update log has added Herobrine in it. Next up, we got Scary Maze Game. The Scary Maze Game is something a lot of Gen Z kids will remember with a mix of laughter and fear. It looked innocent at first, just a simple game where you guided a dot through a maze with steady hands, but the real goal wasn't just to play, it was a setup for an unsuspecting friend or family member. Right when the game seemed to be getting hard, a terrifying screaming face, usually that of Reagan from The Exorcist, would pop up on the screen, scaring whoever was playing out of their minds. This shit fucked me when I was a kid, bro. The game became viral in the mid-2000s as one of the original screamer pranks that circulated online. Kids would share it with friends as a way to prank them and then laugh at their reactions. It was simple but effective, and it played on the trust that people had in their friends or the game itself. The jump scare was so sudden and loud that it was almost impossible not to react, and ever since then I've been scared of mazes and any weird video that my friend sends me that looks too normal to be something that my friend would send me. Blue Screen of Death. The Blue Screen of Death, or BSOD, is an icon of tech fear for anyone who grew up using a computer. If you've ever been in the middle of homework, gaming, or just browsing the internet and suddenly saw that blue screen, you know the panic that comes with it. The Blue Screen of Death would appear when Windows experienced a fatal system error, and it often meant that something serious was wrong with your computer. For a lot of Gen Z kids, it was the first real encounter with tech anxiety, worrying if your PC was about to crash for good or if you just lost an important file or something. The Blue Screen of Death dates back to the early versions of Windows, but it gained a reputation in the 2000s as computers became more common in homes and schools. And the one that we have now is nice, and it has the little smiley face and shit. But the one that we had back then, dude, the codes and technical jargon it displayed were intimidating, making it feel even scarier when you had no idea what it meant. And it became so iconic that now it's used as a meme and a symbol of frustration. Salad Fingers. Salad Fingers was one of the most unsettling web series that Gen Z stumbled upon during late night YouTube binges like I did. Created by David Firth, this animated series first appeared in 2004 and quickly gained a cult following for its eerie atmosphere, strange main character, and cryptic storyline. Salad Fingers is a green, thin creature with long, spindly fingers who enjoys touching rusty objects and speaks in a soft, creepy voice. Each episode felt like a fever dream, blending dark humor with bizarre, uncomfortable themes that kept viewers hooked. For many, discovering Cloudfingers was like finding a hidden part of the internet that didn't follow the usual rules. It was really unlike anything else that we'd seen as like Gen Z kids, you know? Especially as kids, really, because like we hadn't been exposed to anything yet, really. We were just kids. And that's the end of Layer 2, guys, so let's get into Layer 3. Starting with Archive of Our Own, or AO3. AO3 is one of the sites that became a major part of internet culture for Gen Z who were into fandoms. Launched in 2008 by the Organization for Transformative Works, AO3 was created as a safe space for fanfic writers who wanted to post whatever they wanted without worrying about censorship. Unlike other fanfic sites, AO3's open approach meant you could find stories about any show, game, or movie you loved, and some stories that left you thinking, what the fuck did I just read? Many of you probably found AO3 when looking for like a continuation of your favorite show, or wanting to read some fluffy romance between your favorite characters, but it didn't take long before you discovered just how deep and wild the fanfic world could get. The site has tags that range from innocent to downright disturbing, and sometimes you'd find yourself scrolling through a story that got unexpectedly dark. It was a part of growing up online, realizing that fan communities could take things to extreme places, from horror fics that made your skin crawl to weird crossovers you didn't even know that anybody needed. AO3 became a symbol of fandom, freedom, and creativity, showing just how far fans would go to explore new stories. Next up, we got Blame It on Jorge. Blame It on Jorge is a YouTuber known for exploring lost media, nostalgic content, and creepy internet mysteries. He started his channel back in 2013, and over the years, his calm voice and deep dive videos became a staple for Gen Z kids who loved getting spooked or learning weird facts about like old shows. Like, he's covered things like from lost episodes of Sesame Street to mysterious TV broadcasts that have a creepy edge to them. He's basically like just my channel, but better. Except he doesn't talk about drugs like I do, so. What made Blame It on Jorge's content so appealing was how he combined nostalgia with a sense of the unknown. I don't know why I wrote this in past tense. He still makes videos. But you'd click on a video about a show that you vaguely remembered from childhood, and you'd end up down a rabbit hole of eerie backstories and lost media that made you question what really happened. He's a good YouTuber. Again, he's like me, but better, bro. Next up, we got Creepy Grudge Ghost Girl in the Mirror. Creepy Grudge Ghost Girl in the Mirror is a classic screamer video uploaded in 2008 by ncook1234, and it's accumulated more than 111 million views so far. This also makes it the first screamer at 2008. It's really old. The video starts by showing a young girl who's putting on earrings. After she puts them on, she looks away and waves to the camera. After that, the camera zooms in on the mirror and the young girl's reflection becomes a demonic face, eyes and mouth wide open, screaming at the camera while the girl is still waving at the cameraman. There's also a sequel to this video called Possessed Girl Beheads Herself in Her Bedroom that was uploaded in 2009. It features a woman, possibly the girl's mother, going up to the daughter under the blanket and pulls it off her, revealing her possessed state. This makes the mother scream in fear. Suddenly, the girl's head falls off. The mother screams again, and the cameraman drops the camera. Next up, we got disturbing fanfictions. We already kind of covered this on AO3, but just like, for example, there was Cupcakes, which was a My Little Pony fanfic, and it took a show meant for kids and turned it into a horror story involving torture and gore. And then another infamous story, Sweet Apple Massacre, was even darker and made you wish that you had just had stuck to the main show. But yeah, this is just showing that they're just like disturbing fanfics that a lot of Gen Zers would read when they were kids. How to Basic. How to Basic started in 2011 as a channel that seemed to offer simple tutorials, but quickly devolved into chaos. The channel was all about baiting viewers into thinking they'd learn something useful, like how to cook a perfect egg, only to watch as everything spiraled into an explosion of eggs, random foods, and complete destruction. The creator stays anonymous, which only added to the weirdness of it all, and the videos have millions of views because people really just can't get enough of this stuff. For Gen Z, How to Basic was one of those things that defined like YouTube humor in the early 2010s. You'd watch one video thinking, this can't be real, and then find yourself showing your friends just to see their confused reactions. It became an inside joke. Everyone knew what How to Basic really meant, and it was never going to be just a simple tutorial. The absurdity and unpredictability of it made it oddly addictive, and it was a staple of internet culture during that time. Omegle. Omegle was a site that you turned to when you were bored and wanted to chat with strangers, which sounds weird now, but back then it was a thing. I mean, I guess it's not that weird now, like we use Omi TV now. I go in there sometimes and my friends just like to fuck around. Anyways, launched in 2009, Omegle let you have random conversations without needing an account, and it was split into text and video chats. The thrill came from the unpredictability. Sometimes you'd meet someone cool and have a funny conversation, and other times you'd end up skipping as fast as possible to avoid, you know, something weird. Let's just say that guitars are not the only things being stroked on Omegle. Omegle gained popularity because it felt like anything could happen. You and your friends would sit around a laptop, laughing and daring each other to see who could last the longest without skipping to the next chat. But it also had a darker side. With anonymity came some seriously uncomfortable encounters that made you close the tab really fast. It was part fun, part creepy, and definitely part of the internet experience growing up. Omegle is where you learned that stranger danger wasn't just a saying. For Gen Z kids at least. Racist Mario. Racist Mario was a 2014 parody animation by Flash Gitz that turned the innocent world of Mario Kart into a violent, over-the-top spectacle. So Racist Mario is just the name of a viral YouTube animation featuring the video game character Mario violently eliminating other video game characters during a Mario Kart race. On August 5th, 2014, YouTuber Flash Gitz uploaded the Racist Mario video onto YouTube, in which Mario enacts revenge on various other video game characters, viciously murdering them during the race. Over the next 3 years, the video received upwards of 129 million views and 45,000 comments. But yeah, this video was crazy. For Gen Z, this video was part of the edgy internet humor phase, where pushing the envelope was the norm, and that was what made it funny, I guess. Okay, next we got Lights Out. Lights Out was a short horror film directed by David F. Sandberg that became a viral sensation around 2013. The short featured a woman who turns off the lights only to see a shadowy figure appear and then disappear when the lights come back on. It played on a fear that everyone has felt at some point, wondering what might be lurking when the lights go out. This short film was shared everywhere because it was quick, scary, and easy to watch, and it left you with that uneasy feeling that stayed long after the video ended. It was so popular that it even got turned into a full-length movie in 2016, but for a lot of Gen Z kids, it was the short that really stuck. Watching Lights Out with your friends like late at night was an instant scare, and it was pretty memorable. Next up we got Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life. Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life started out as a creepy copypasta that turned into an infamous animated video in 2014. The story features a kid who prays to Shrek as a godlike figure, only for things to take a really dark, twisted turn. It's graphic, unsettling, and it plays off Shrek's popularity in the weirdest way possible. You'd hear about it from friends or see it pop up in meme compilations, and watching it was almost like a dare because of how messed up it was. This one I never really remembered as a kid, you know, I never saw this as a kid. I think I was on the other side of the internet at this point. Next up we have Dolphin Muzzle. The scary dolphin muzzle video is the entry point to a strange, unsettling rabbit hole on YouTube. This clip, which has been reposted and edited multiple times, features a person in a dolphin mask with distorted audio and Armenian text overlaid. Known as the original dolphin muzzle cursed, it gained attention as part of a YouTube trend where users would search for full stop punctuation or even just a period and find themselves scrolling through increasingly disturbing content. While many videos in this trend are harmless memes with gore thumbnails, the dolphin video is different. Viewers quickly picked up on the unusual quality of the video's distorted Tarzan yell, which only added to the unease. Something about the silent, masked figure in the dolphin suit lingered with people, as if the video was hiding a lot more than just an innocent costume demo. Now let's talk about the history, because I think it's pretty interesting. The origins of the dolphin muzzle video trace back to a YouTube channel called North Fur, which specializes in realistic animal prosthetics. The original clip, titled Dolphin Muzzle, was posted on December 30th, 2007 by North Fur as a demonstration of their dolphin muzzle prosthetic. The video is a 40-second silent clip featuring only the dolphin mask without any context. The silence and strange realism of the mask left a strong impression on viewers, especially since the description of the prosthetic confirmed the dolphin's mouth was made from slush cast latex and body paint, a level of detail that made it seem unnervingly real. In December 2022, a YouTuber named Andy Alex managed to find a version of the video with partial audio, though the full original audio remains lost. The survival of only part of the audio has made it somewhat of a mystery within lost media communities, though it's widely believed that North Fur's original posting wasn't meant to be creepy, but just like a demonstration of their work. The channel itself has a history of sporadic uploads, often showcasing other animal prosthetics and costumes. In 2015, North Fur returned with a tutorial video introducing viewers to Jason, the lead sculptor behind these designs. This video was the first time Jason showed his face in the channel, addressing the unintentional creepiness of earlier videos due to poor camera quality and silent footage. He clarified that the eerie quality of the dolphin video was purely incidental, a byproduct of outdated digital cameras and the silent nature of the videos. North Fur's audience, however, isn't what you might expect for a typical costume creator. Their work has found a following within the humanimal community, a niche group interested in realistic animal-like prosthetics that is distinctly different from typical furry culture. Unlike furries, whose costumes are stylized and often fluffy, human animals prioritize hyper-realistic representations of animals. This realism can seem unsettling, as it falls into the uncanny valley where the line between human and animal becomes blurred. But that's not really important to this video. I don't know why I wrote about that. But yeah, this shit did fuck me up as a kid, bro. Next up, we have Eye of the Body of a Pig. Body of a Pig is the title of a popular YouTube video that follows a group of paranormal investigators exploring a supposedly haunted site. During their investigation, they capture what appears to be an EVP, a disembodied voice recording, clearly saying, quote, "I have the body of a pig." This eerie message is accompanied by a photograph taken shortly after the EVP was recorded, supposedly showing a strange figure. The video quickly went viral, amassing nearly 500,000 views and stirring debate among viewers. A poll on the paranormal site Midnight Hollow showed that out of 145 respondents, 70 people believed the video to be genuine, while only 23 thought it was a hoax. To examine its authenticity, we can start with the video itself. The supposed evidence begins with the photo, which is shown around the 50-second mark. The investigators present this image as proof of an entity, but on closer inspection, viewers questioned its legitimacy. Some observant commenters noted that during the part of the video where the photo was taken, there's no indication of a figure present in the space captured in the final image. The video creator responded, saying viewers couldn't see the entity due to differences in camera perspective. However, the angle discrepancy isn't convincing enough to fully explain why the photo would show something clearly not visible in the video. The EVP recording also raises questions. When sped up, the phrase, "I have the body of a pig," sounds notably similar to the voice and accent of the people making the video, suggesting that it might have been staged. This wouldn't be the first time the creator has posted questionable videos. For example, in a comedy series titled Terrifying Encounters, he uses fake EVP sounds for comedic effect. Although these videos are clearly meant as a joke, the EVPs used in them bear a striking resemblance to the one in Body of a Pig, raising doubts about whether he could have used similar techniques in his supposedly, quote, real videos. Other videos on his channel further call into question his credibility. In his, quote, hospital corridor video, for instance, he claims to have set up a camera in an abandoned hospital, capturing extremely clear audio of supposed paranormal events. However, the video's audio quality is unusually high compared to his other uploads, hinting that the sound effects may have been edited in post-production. The video's backstory also includes specific details about a murder, yet the creator omits any identifying information about the supposed perpetrator, making it impossible to verify his claims. Another example is his Alone in the Dark video, where he records in an abandoned building and claims to hear the voice of a child upstairs saying, quote, "mother," and, quote, "burn him." Though the first word could resemble mother, the second phrase doesn't align with burn him, as claimed. There's speculation that the sound might simply be a cat in heat, which can sound eerily similar, apparently. Even more dubious is the video titled "You Have Reached Your Destination," in which he claims to have recorded two people going down a haunted road at night. They discuss a local legend of deaths on that road right before their car flips and they supposedly die. The clip is so exaggeratedly timed and staged that it feels like a scripted movie scene rather than genuine footage. Returning to Body of a Pig, the creator's track record of obviously staged content casts a pretty big shadow on its authenticity. Nearly every other video on his channel can be confirmed as fake, leaving pretty much no reason for anyone to believe that this one would be any different. Alright, hey everyone, I'm back. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, why aren't you subscribed, bro? Please, 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 please. Now, let me know in the comments what you guys want to see in the future for my channel, because I would love to take your suggestions for future video ideas, iceberg ideas, or really anything, so just let me know. I had a great time making this one, so I really hope you had a good time watching it. Leave a like, Discord, everything in the beginning of the video. Thank you so much, really, and I hope you all are having a great day, and have a great night.